Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night. All day.
I fucking put this up.
Riley, what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, I should have thrown it out, but I feel like if somebody put effort into it and gave it to me, just keep it.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's how I wound up with this fucking snake on the desk. This is from this during the entire podcast. Harlan Williams had this in his pants, and he was saying that he got a worm. And he named his worm Dimitri, and at the end of the podcast, he pulls it out. And then he got such a fucking kick out of the fact that it was still on the desk when I interviewed Trump.
I hope you explained where it came from.
I didn't say shit.
This president hold that.
I didn't say anything.
I think it's funny, because when you said that, I was like, who gave that to you? Is that a 7-year-old? And this is Harlan Williams. I'm like, all right, it works out perfect. That feels correct.
He is so unique.
He is, and I forgot he was in Something About Mary.
Oh, yeah.
Which is literally one of the funniest movies ever made.
Ever.
And I watched him again. I'm like, God damn, I wish I was in that. I wish I had one line in that movie.
Right. That was one. Well, the Farley brothers, they're the best. They have some bangers, man. You know, Kingpin.
Yeah, Bill Murray.
God.
I'm going to take these off.
God. You don't like them?
No, they're fine. I'm so used to I hate my own voice, and hearing it come back, it's like I'm doing radio for 20 years, and I still don't like to listen to my own fucking voice.
Well, you used to do one. You used to do the
one
ear thing.
But I saw Rich Voss, like too many times I've seen clips of Voss, and he just does that, and I'm like, do I look like that? Have I looked like that for 2 decades? I'm like, fucking Rich, put it on or take it off.
I like one ear.
He just likes one ear open.
I like it on one ear.
I firmly believe that's some kind of like a childhood like defense thing. Like there was something fishy that happened in childhood where you want to just kind of somehow stay present.
Always be aware.
Yeah,
somebody get attacked.
Somebody fumbled. Yeah, somebody fumbled around, and I just got to keep my ears.
I don't know.
Open.
That's a thing though. A lot of people like one ear on. It's not uncommon.
You feel. When you have both ears covered, I just feel like I'm lost and I'm not in the room. And it's. I guess I've gotten a little bit better with it, but just now I'm like, wow, I really I can't hear.
I always feel like I'm just fully locked in. You know, I don't hear anything else. I don't hear any
when
distractions.
The headphones are on.
Yeah, I like the headphones on.
Yeah.
I like to be locked in.
Yeah, I do, but I just feel like it feels like I'm underwater sometimes. I went in for an MRI. I just go for them like once a year. And
just for the fuck of it?
I want to. Yeah, I'm getting older, and I'm like, I want to fucking make sure I'm good. Like, make sure there's no lumps or anything. And they give you those shitty headphones, and I'm so claustrophobic. I'm laying there, and I'm terrified.
And the noise.
Yeah. Being married prepares you for that.
You get good at blocking out.
Oh my God! You feel claustrophobic. There's a loud noise. You want to kill yourself. Yeah.
My wife will be in full conversation with me. I have no idea what she said. I just fully blocked it out.
Yeah. How many things have I agreed to?
Exactly.
Because I want her to shut up.
I told you about it the other day. I'm like, you did? Oh. I don't want to argue. I'm like, I forgot.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just
tell you.
But I asked the guy. He goes, "Do you want music?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll have." I'm like, "Play rock. I just rock." And he was fucking like he didn't speak English that well, so he started playing the Rocky theme song over and over. I actually bailed out and got out of the machine. I couldn't finish.
You couldn't hear the song anymore?
No, I just was too freaked out. I'm like, this guy's not hearing me. I'm squeezing that fucking ball they give you. It's awful. So he had to take me out, and I'm like, I'll go back in. He goes, no, we'll have to start over because apparently in an MRI, like you have to be in the same position.
Yeah.
So I said, fuck it. They did my whole body and they couldn't finish with the brain. I was just like, I'm done. I'm out.
Your brain's fine. You don't want to look in there anywhere.
I hope
knows?
not.
Who knows?
I don't really want to see
Who knows what's going on in there.
No. Just little
wires
boy.
across the wrong way. Imagine if you could look into your brain and see your memories. You're like, whoa.
Eventually. I mean, Black Mirror did an episode of that where you like, I love how they keep the technology simple, where you're just kind of scrolling through something and they could like see all the memories, and you'll eventually be able to do that. I mean,
yeah, eventually we'll have a hard drive in our head.
I would do it too. I would absolutely link up. I think we talked about this last time about Ray Kurzweil, who talks about like singularity. I still think his time frame is wishful thinking. He thinks by he'll be in his like 90s, so I think he's just trying to hope it happens.
He might be right. That makes sense. 20 years from now? Yeah, I think that's correct.
I hope so.
I think everything's moving in exponential pace, and I think if you just look at what's happening with AI 10 years ago was non-existent. You never heard anything about it. And now everybody uses it on their phone all the time.
I use it. My wife's obsessed with it, which is irritating because she literally will just talk to it. And so I'm like, all right, let me try it and see. But it's great if you get an error message on your computer. Like, what does fucking Mac error 1101 mean? And then you add it, and it actually tells you in a very comprehensive way what that error message means. It's better than Googling something.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm using it for that. But
it's great for a lot of things. Kids are using it, though, unfortunately, for term papers and shit, and they're getting busted because AI knows when it's AI, so they just run the paper into AI, and AI goes, oh, yeah, AI made this.
Oh, yeah, that's my work.
Yeah,
that sucks.
I did that. Yeah.
But, I mean, it's good for looking things up. Right now I'm just using it as a better Google. But when I attach it to my brain... No, because I was in it the other day, and it said we detected suspicious activity, so they wanted me to log in. Maybe because I had a VPN or something. Because in Texas, you can't jerk off without a fucking VPN. They want your license to watch porn.
Isn't that crazy?
It sucks.
It's we're protecting children too fucking late. First of all, as if kids don't know about VPNs, they all do.
And it's also one of those things where I get you don't want your kids to watch porn. That's fine. And it's a lot harder. It was harder when I was a child to get. You had to find magazines in the woods.
Yeah.
But I meant the smell of those old shitty magazines and you'd find them and fucking. It was the best. But now if I had it on my phone or I had the availability, I mean, my sex addiction would have been even worse. So I get why they want to protect kids.
Oh, it's got to be fucking kids up. It's not just that, but the violence that they see. You see so much violence. I see way more violence now than I've ever seen in my whole life. Way more murders and car accidents and animal attacks. And I see Tom Segura and I have this horrible text thread. We text each other the worst shit we find every day. We're trying to freak each other out. And we've been doing it for years. And so it's just my algorithm is fucked.
Yeah,
it's just fucked.
There's certain sites, and I never promote the site just because it's just too gruesome. But there's one site I go to where you can do everything. They have beheadings. And I would look at this stuff before bed. And I don't know why. I wouldn't enjoy seeing it, but I would look at it, and it just gives you some kind of a weird, horrible feeling. But there's certain things I can't watch at this point. Like, I can't watch people burning anymore. That's a rough way to... Yeah. Point. Oh, burnings were all the rave. I can't watch them anymore. It's old hat.
That's such a crazy thing to say. I can't watch people burning anymore. I'm all burnt out.
It bothered me. It got to a point where I can't see beheadings anymore. There was a point where I could watch them and just almost watch detached. But now it's too.
Do you remember the journalist? It was like
Daniel Pearl?
Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. He was like the first, but the cameraman panicked and kind of came off him a little bit, and so they didn't. It was kind of they showed it, but that was the first one.
Yeah.
And then that guy they called Jihad John, who was because he was British. When they eventually caught him, I forget the other people he did, but it was certain contractors and stuff that they would put in those orange jumpsuits to mimic Guantanamo, and they would. Just gruesome shit, man. Really gruesome shit.
Gruesome shit.
And it does fuck you up.
100%.
I don't know what it does, but it fucks you up. I don't know how it messes me up, but it definitely is not healthy.
Well, it makes you filled with anxiety, and just knowing that exists and then seeing it are two very different. This episode is brought to you by The Farmer's Dog. I think we can all agree that eating highly processed food for every meal isn't optimal. So why is processed food the status quo for dog food? Because that's what kibble is, an ultra-processed food. But a healthy alternative exists, The Farmer's Dog. They make fresh food for dogs. And what does it look like? Real meat and vegetables that are gently cooked to retain vital nutrients and help avoid any of the bad stuff that comes with ultra-processing. And it's not just random ingredients thrown together. Their food is formulated by on-staff, board-certified vet nutritionists. These people are experts on dog nutrition, and they're all in on fresh food. The Farmer's Dog also does something unique. They portion out the food to your dog's nutritional needs. This ensures that you don't overfeed them, making weight management easy. Research shows that dogs kept at a healthy weight can live up to 2.5 years longer. Head to thefarmersdog.com/Rogan.
You've seen the headlines, heard the debates.
The three-point ball has created a monotonous rhythm to the game, and others.
I'm Gab, he's Jules. Blue skies over West London. Jules, how could it be anything else? The Premier League is back.
Yes.
La Liga is back.
Yes.
Liga 1 is back.
Even, yeah.
And we have a week to go when the really big boys, no, just kidding, Serie A and the Bundesliga are back as well. We have a packed show because a lot of stuff happened. But I think there's one evident place to start, and that is at Old Trafford.
Yes,
The
that's right.
Theatre of Dreams.
Yeah.
Manchester United against Arsenal. I'm going to come on right out and say it. Arsenal win 1-0. People can throw out the stat. It's like the 10 millionth loss at Old Trafford, blah, 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 for United. But United played really well. And I think, in normal circumstances, between Raya's 2 unbelievable saves, one more unbelievable than the other, and the goal,
Which one is the most unbelievable?
I thought the first one.
I don't think that shot is on target.
The Mbeumo shot?
Yeah. No,
No,
the Cunha shot.
Yeah, what was the
And then the
dive shot?
header. Yeah. I don't think that one is on target, and I felt the other one was a bit central. But hey,
The other one,
they're
fine.
good saves. They're good
Okay.
saves.
I thought United deserved to win
Yeah.
this game.
I don't know. I thought a draw was probably a fair result because I think United played better. Did they play really, really well? They would have won the game if they played really well. The XG is actually not that high and not that many big chances created. The Cunha one is him on his own, really, let's be honest. And I'm not sure you count it as a big chance. But what we knew is that Cunha and Mbeumo would make this team better, and they did, and they do. And they are really good in their own style. Cunha still, I think, needs to own the ball to make things happen, which he has. That one shot where he goes through pretty much with a bit of luck by the Arsenal defense, and then at the end of a long run, the shot is not powerful enough or angled enough, or the shot that you mentioned that Raya saves, and Mbeumo different, in transitions better, to isolate him and go one-on-one. This is his game. But I think, for me, this we knew. We knew that Cunha and Mbeumo were much better players than anything United had going forward anyway. Sesko, we'll talk about him later. We'll have to wait and see. But I think what the most pleasing for me was how, as a team, they were better. And yeah, the rest of the team, behind Bruno, Cunha and Mbeumo, is still not good enough. Dogu had a good game, but I'm not sure he's good enough. Dalot is not good enough. The back three, I wouldn't have Shaw there. De Ligt, okay, Euro is good. By India, let's not go there. So there's still a lot to do with this team. But actually, I thought collectively, the way their pressing numbers are similar to last season, but I thought they were well drilled. They moved the ball quite well, and that was very encouraging.
They looked way, way up for it. I gotta engage here on the goal here. Now, maybe I'm channeling my inner Vicario. I have had it up to here with goalkeepers just getting pushed and getting fouled in the 6-yard box because that's what it is. And saying, oh, well, in England it's different. He's got to be strong. I don't want to see this. And look, if the Premier League, if they have certain interpretations of how it should be played, that's fine. Those interpretations are wrong. They don't line up with what the laws of the game say and what the interpretations of it are elsewhere. William Saliba, and I don't blame him. I'm not having a go at him. He does what the rules allow. His elbow is clearly in Bayindier's ribs, which is why he looks so uncoordinated. Not the only reason, probably. And afterwards, you're talking, whoa, can VAR, is there enough to overturn it? That's a stupid argument to make in this kind of situation because the referee, when it's a crowded penalty area, he's not going to know. He'll be guessing. That is a situation where they should have a different standard for VAR than something the referee clearly sees. There's no way the referee sees it clearly. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no. I thought.
Does that goal get disallowed in every other tournament in the world?
So you don't think the goalkeeper should be touched? If you touch the referee,
No, you can touch the goalkeeper.
I don't think there was much from Saliba on Bayindir.
I think there's several replays that show that there was that there was a lot.
But I think this is what happens a lot. Goalkeeper have the advantage of having their arms and hands, obviously. So they still know where Bayindir misses that ball.
Right, but
Saliba or not Saliba.
I can jump with my arms and hands. But if somebody runs into me while I'm doing it, then I'm not going to be able to get the ball.
I know De Ligt barged into Raya in the second half, and Raya punches the ball.
That's a bit of whataboutery there. Raya might be a better goalkeeper than Bayindir.
That's not my problem.
But it's not.
Same. It's exactly the same.
I'm just saying this is not.
But it's exactly the same thing.
All right. I think. We'll have to agree to disagree on this one.
No, it's just like if I grab your arm while you try to catch the ball, that's a foul.
Right.
If I push you when you
if
can
you run
still
into my arm while I'm trying to grab the ball, that's not a foul.
Well, Saliba is not on Bayindir's arm though. Bayindir is two arms free.
All right.
So, but that's what De Ligt does to Raya.
Actually, on Match of the Day last night, Joe Hart would dispute that. Joe Hart explains, or at least his
Well, he
interpretation.
said he had to go with the other hand.
Goalkeepers union.
No,
He
his
has to go with the
favourite
other hand
hand.
because
Yeah,
Saliba
true.
was. I don't know.
I just didn't think there was enough there, but I get your point.
All right, we're going to break this down further on the Gab and Jules podcast, as well as get into some Gyökeres v. Sesko, his Sesko's cameo off the bench. Who did we like better?
This isn't just another ESPN fantasy football season. It's your shot at greatness. With a refreshed design, the ESPN fantasy app is sharper than ever, so you can draft like a pro and dominate your league. And introducing Gridiron Gauntlet, a new game mode where the best compete to be crowned the #1 fantasy football player of 2025. One app, one shot, one champion. Download the ESPN fantasy app and sign up to play ESPN fantasy football today.
All right, Jules, as promised, let's talk strikers. United started with, in the app I use, it said like Mason Mount is a center forward. He wasn't really the center forward. No. He was more like a front three where they kind of took turns. And then we saw Sesko at the end. Understandable. He just arrived. On the other end, we got to see Gyökeres, right? The big bullying number 9 to so many people. And I'm Team Havertz. He's the best on earth. First game, nobody wants to rush to judgment. He did not look good. And you can make the argument, he had 3 touches in the opposition box, touched the ball, I think, 22 times throughout the game.
Yeah.
You can make the argument that's on the players around him who didn't do a good job of getting him the ball. And I think that's true. I think other than Odegaard, United's front 4, most of them were, kind of mid in this game. Arsenal's. On the other hand, he's expecting a little more from him. I mean, he looked a little bit lost there.
True, yeah, which is understandable, I think, at times. Like for when he still arrived not that long ago, he played against Villarreal and then one half against Athletic Club de Bilbao. It's a game where Arsenal have 39% of the ball, which is not much for them. A game where they are under pressure. They've been under pressure. A game where they spend more defending than attacking because that's the way they chose it. They took the lead after 13 minutes, and after that, they just tried to control everything more than trying to go and score another goal, which is something that we talked about last season, which cost them a lot because they lost a lot of points from leading position. They were 1-0 up and then got pegged back, not losing the game, but drawing the game, dropping 2 points because that desire of controlling everything instead of maybe trying to go and score another goal like City or Liverpool would do maybe. So in that situation and kind of environment, I think it's difficult for them. And this is a team that doesn't play in transition. It's a team that has the ball, and instead of going quickly forward in 2 or 3 passes, they very often choose to keep the ball, play to Saka wide, who will take 2, 3, 4 touches, wait, and then they have their team in place in the opposition half, and then they move it like they want and like they know and like they've been told to. So that he will have to adapt to. They will have to adapt to him because there's a couple of times on Sunday where they could have easily play the ball through to him in transition. That could have been interesting. There's one time they did it and he kind of walked on the ball in that second half. Maybe the dry pitch on a hot day, I don't know, or maybe he just thought about it too much and messed it up really. But yeah, it's hard when it's just an hour first game against an opposition like that away from home in a game where again you haven't attacked too much.
It's a good point about them not playing in transition. I wonder, if Arteta were here, if he would say, well, Jules, I don't necessarily have the players or haven't had the players to play in transition because to do that, I need good passers from deep. And the reality is, well, I have a fantastic back 4. Calafiori maybe is the best passer. Yeah. And of course, the guy's injured 50% of the time. I had Partey and Jorginho last year. Jorginho, great passer, not necessarily a long passer. All these things put together, I wonder if that changes. I wonder if the signing of Madueke maybe is part of the thinking there. Yeah. Martinelli should be able to play in transition.
Yeah, sometimes they do.
Saka should be able to do whatever he wants.
But this is not, but this is not the game. And Saka is not a transition kind of player either.
But he could be.
He could become. And I think they will have to because this will suit in some games. Leeds on Saturday at the Emirates, there won't be any transition or unlikely because they're going to play with a very deep block. And that's when we will see Gyökeres in this kind of setup where Arsenal will have a lot of the ball, 70% of the ball, and they will camp in the box, around the box of Leeds, and will have to find solutions. And let's see how he deals with that if he's better or not than the United, where they were spaced, but they didn't really use it.
What I want to push back, though, regarding Gyökeres is this idea that I heard from some pundits and people on the radio. Is just like, oh, when other Gyökeres is there, you have to pump crosses into the box. And I'm like, the 1990s are over. This isn't Niall Quinn who you signed.
Yeah.
There are many different ways to serve Gyökeres, and simply delivering tons of high balls into the box for him to knock down. This isn't it. I mean, much more multifaceted, as we saw at Sporting. Now, whether he turns out to be good enough, worth the money, that's a whole other that's a whole other point. Zubimendi, I was psyched to see what he could do.
Yeah,
I thought Cunha and Mbeumo, two guys who we talked about earlier. I don't love those signings at those numbers at all.
Yeah,
but they were such live wires. I thought they got in his face a lot, and I thought he kind of focused mostly. I didn't see much playmaking from him in this game.
No, because
they made it really difficult for him.
Yeah, and again, with only 39% of the ball for Arsenal, it's difficult for him to have an impact with the ball because I think they run 8 kilometers or 7 kilometers more than United. They had to run a lot. They didn't, with the control that they had, still they didn't have much of the ball, and his game is all about that, right? So I thought there was a couple of sloppy passes, and I think it took him a long time to get into that game, to get into the rhythm, which is, again, understandable. First game away at Old Trafford, when you've never played in the Premier League, where you've played well in the friendlies, but this is very different than pre-season. So I always thought this was going to be tough for him, and it was, to be fair. I expect him to be much better against Leeds, for example, on Saturday. And then as the season continues, but this was always going to be tough. And also there's Bruno and Casemiro against you and all that kind of experience. And Bruno must be a nightmare for all the things I don't like for Bruno playing deeper. It's true that he must, because of his energy and intensity all the time, it must be difficult to play against him when he plays that deep.
Lewis Skelly came on, got himself booked.
Timber as well.
Timber, although I thought Timber played well.
Yeah.
Unlike Lewis Skelly. Not that Lewis Skelly was bad, but do we read anything in his decision on the two fullbacks?